We're live and we're hot. We're live and we're hot. Okay, here we go, for real. Hey guys, I'm Ivan Birdsong and welcome back to Collective Action Now. So the topic for today is, guys, what the fuck is fake news? What the fuck is fake news? Bro, like, what the fuck is fake news? So let's go ahead and define it so we can all move forward with the same understanding. Let's use the gold standard for scholarly excellence, Wikipedia. So fake news is a type of yellow journalism, also known as sensationalism, and basically what they do is they deliberately publish false information. And I quote, deliberately post information digital or in print that is false. In other words, bitches just making shit up. Fake news is written and published with the intention of circulating false news to basically gain financially or politically for some reason. For some alternative reason, some ulterior motive. It's goddamn clickbait. It is not propagated by crazy ass people in their basement. It's an intentional act with the intent to deceive and profit from that deception. It is made to confuse and distort the reality. Fake news is different from satire and parody. And I think this is a great point. Because a lot of people conflate these two because they're unable to handle humor when they're talking about sensitive issues like politics or religion. So some people are just like trigger happy fake news, like, fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. If I don't believe it, it's fake news. So everything's fucking fake news. Fake news often employs blah, 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 blah. You can read the rest of the definition on your own time. So now we have an understanding of what fake news is. So very straightforward, fake news is information that is deliberately published or put out into the public and is knowingly false. That's fake news. That's so funny because that reminds me of something else. I just can't put my finger on it. Propaganda. Propaganda, bit.
That was funny.
I can't stress this enough, guys. We're in an information war. This information war is much larger than the United States because every country is pumping out their own flavor of propaganda. So if you could just imagine for a second, like every country with these Gatling gun turrets pumping out propaganda at the international community and their own people, and we're all stuck in the middle of this. So what do you believe when there's so many people, so many groups and organizations that are trying to control the information around you? They're trying to control the information that gets to you, thus trying to control your perception of reality, i.e. it's goddamn mind control. Unfortunately, we live in a time now where ideological subversion has been mastered and weaponized and been deployed on the people by these covert military type organizations and groups and circles. Ideological subversion is just propaganda over time. Propaganda is the single event of deception, the single lie. Ideological subversion is the full picture they're trying to paint. I'm sure we've all asked ourselves at one point in time, why are people so fucking dumb? Why do we got bitches acting like sheep? The short answer is it's not their fault completely. Our minds are constantly being bombarded by fake news, and that's why it's so important to protect yourself. Knowledge is power. Plain and simple. It's that easy. The more you know, the better you're equipped to avoid these pitfalls. The more you know about the problem, the better you know and are familiar to avoid it, to stay away from it. Knowledge is power, guys. So now that we kind of got an idea of what fake news is, so now that we're all on the same page, what are some examples of fake news versus good news? What are some sources? What can we look at? What can we point out? What are some suggestions? Most corporate media entities, immediately right off the bat, you can regard as fake news. These institutions have been compromised by agencies like the CIA since the 40s with the OSS, Frank Wisner, Operation Mockingbird. Tons of information out there, guys, on that subject. But anyways, let's not get on that tangent. So, media outlets like Fox, MSNBC, ABC, HLN, NPR, CNN, these are all fake news sources. Rarely do they publish anything of substance, but it does happen occasionally. I'm not gonna totally disregard that. It does happen occasionally. It happens sometimes. Very little, but sometimes. Really, the only reason you should be keeping up with corporate media, which is some of the organizations I just listed off, which also include print media, such as New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, the Three Sisters, is to keep up with the daily propaganda. To keep up with what they want you to know, so you can steer clear of it, and pursuing and finding the truth will be much easier. Good sources are hard to come by, and they do take a little bit more effort to appreciate. Some outlets that I love and would recommend to anybody out there in the open source alternative media community are people like James Corbett of the Corbett Report, Luke Rudkowski from We Are Change, Sibel Edmonds, Newsbud, Michal Chossudovsky, Global Research, Zero Hedge, Waking Times, Greg Hunter. There are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of sources that I pull from, and I will include as many as I can in the description below. Now that we have a better understanding of fake news, guys, I want to move on and leave you guys with a metaphor that I like to call the ocean of information. So we're all born with a blank slate. We all know nothing about the world with no information. We all remember that time where the world was rainbows, unicorns, and butterflies. And this is the blissful ignorance stage. This is where all institutions are good, governments don't lie, banks don't steal. It's just an obliviousness to the true nature of what's going on. This is what I call blissful ignorance. For some people, something happened. An event triggers you to pursue information more. Things are not adding up. Things are not as they seem. In this event, it could be anything from 9/11, Sandy Hook, terrorism, false flag events. It can literally be anything. Something triggers people to investigate more. So sadly, we're born into this dysfunctional society where things like rape, murder, and all these immoral acts already exist by the time we get here. We're born in sin, if you will. We're born into a sinful society. So it's at this point in time, in the state of blissful ignorance, where a veil is placed over our eyes, and we have no idea what's going on. So once this event happens, whatever this triggering event may be, you are now thrusted into this ocean of information where you have no idea what's going on. This event kind of shattered your reality, your perception of reality. You have no idea to discern from disinformation, misinformation, or actual genuine information, and you're just in this ocean environment. It's kind of like a hurricane. There's waves and thunder and lightning, and it's craziness. And so imagine treading water out in this ocean environment, and you're getting hit by these waves of information of aliens and government conspiracy and all this craziness. And so what happens is eventually when you kind of are exposed to this, as you're in the ocean more, you begin to tread water better, metaphorically. You get better at navigating the waters. So now you have a raft, and eventually you build and build. Now you have a canoe, you have a boat, you have a ship, and eventually you learn so much that you have a cruise ship. And it doesn't matter how big the waves are anymore, because no wave can sink your ship. And at that point in time, metaphorically, what that represents is you have developed your ability, discernment, your ability to sift out information. You can watch a source or read a source or look at a source of information and actually pick out relevant versus irrelevant information. You've sharpened your senses. So that trigger event is what I call like the virginity of your awareness. And then you're into the ocean of information. After you develop your cruise ship, then comes like what I would call like the second virginity kind of phase, which is like the virginity of your awakenedness. And this is kind of unique because you kind of emerge out of the ocean of information, knowing who and what you are, and more importantly, what you want to do and what's wrong with the world. So you have a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, and usually what that inspires is passion. Passion is what burns inside of all of us. It motivates us to do our things that we try to do with passion. Fucking, I don't know, dude. Fucking, just get motivated and shit, bitch. You break out of the second virginity, awaken, aware in what you want to do in the world, your sense of purpose, what's wrong with the world, and most importantly, what this does is it frees your mind. And it removes the veil from over your eyes. You no longer are a secondhand thinker. You yourself can be a critical thinker and analyze and discern whether information is true or not, whether information is fake news or not. From that point on, you are disillusioned to fake news. You see straight through the bullshit. Your mind is free. And that's the state we need everybody to be at. So, fuck these bitches who are trying to control how we think, because I ain't about it. Ain't about that fuck shit. Stand up for what you believe in. Fuck conformity. If you want to be unique, go do it. If you want to pursue cardistry, go do it. If you want to go pursue basket weaving, chocolate making, cardistry, any talent whatsoever, go fucking do it. If you want to fuck for fun, go fuck for free. What I'm saying is, don't be a sheep, guys. Don't just follow the herd. Don't be afraid to step away from the herd. We all are different. Some of us are tigers, some of us are bears, some of us are elephants. We all know fucking cheetahs in life. We need to acknowledge the elephant in the room, guys. Shit needs to change. Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, share, do whatever you need to do to get the word out there. And tune in next week for another video, bitches. Deuces. We outie.